Alright, y'all, so I'm about to upgrade my cables on my LVX 6048. About to put 4 gauge on there. Not 4 gauge, but 4/0. And so that I could pull more current through. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting ready to cut those. I'm basically gonna mimic the lengths of the older cables. Nice clean cut. Damaged that a little bit, but that's fine. Nice clean cut. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add these connectors, these connector terminals to the cables. And go ahead and put heat shrink on the ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for the 4/0 connectors. So you can see right here, it's got a little gauge where you can adjust it for the size terminal you're gonna be using. So I'm gonna adjust it for 4/0. So basically, to adjust the crimper, you just turn this dial here on the top and align the line with the appropriate connector size. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my wire and my connector that's meant to go onto the terminal on the inverter itself. So I got these two connectors for 4/0, and this is the size eyelet that it will use for the battery connector on the inverter. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to expose some of this, take some of the sheeting off and expose the copper wiring. Hey, one thing when you making your cables and putting your connectors on, kind of make them in a way so your eyelets will line up, so you ain't gotta twist the cable in the end. So what I mean by that is when you put your cable on, if you know your first eyelet is going to be like that, you want to have your second one appropriate. You don't want it facing down, because then you're going to have to turn the cable, and that's going to put tension on your connector. So you want the least amount of tension on it. So that's how I envision this one being placed. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp that down. Alright, so that's crimped down. Now I'm going to put a piece of heat shrink on it. So I got the heat shrink right here. Just going to go ahead and open it up. Slide it over that terminal. You might have to, depending on how tight it is, you might have to use some type of lube or something, but in this case I got it. So here's the heat gun. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. The heat gun's running on solar right now. So that's one cable. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make the other one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and expose the copper wire. Put the appropriate connector on. Got a little wire sticking out, that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and crimp it. Got that crimped. Gonna put a piece of heat shrink over it. All right, so I got that negative cable done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my positive. Got the wire exposed. Go ahead and slide my connector over it. Got the connector on there, gonna go crimp it. So this heat shrink is just gonna protect any exposed wires and also limit the amount of metal that you have exposed and just give it an overall neat appearance. All right, y'all can see the LVX 6048 here with the control panel off. So I don't know if you can see that. The battery terminals are in there. I'm gonna go ahead and connect these wires here that I just made to the terminal. I'm still gonna use my old disconnect that's right here for the time being. I'm also gonna upgrade the way these batteries are connected. Right now that's 2AWG. I'm gonna upgrade it to 2-aught. So I'm gonna go ahead and start connecting the battery cables to the inverter. All right, so I got the battery cables connected. Got the control panel back on. So right here, I'm going through this. I'm using this as a disconnect, and I'm using that as a overcurrent protector. So I'm gonna upgrade both of these into one piece of equipment, and that's gonna be a breaker. So I haven't connected the positive cable yet. Before I can connect that, what I wanna do is I wanna use a resistor, and that's gonna control how fast the capacitor loads on the inverter, so it prevent it from creating a spark. So I have a what size is this? I'm not sure what size. Oh, this is a 30 ohm resistor. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it on the positive terminal of the battery. Then I'm gonna connect the battery cable to the resistor, and that's gonna complete the circuit for the system. Give it a few seconds, and then you should be good to go ahead and put the battery cable on the battery terminal. And go ahead and leave it there. Don't remove it, so you don't have to do that again. And then secure it with the terminal lug. Give your system a once over. Make sure everything right. Like I say, I'm gonna upgrade those connectors to 2-aught. And I'm gonna do that right after this, but I'm gonna go ahead and power up the system. And now what I'm gonna look for is I wanna make sure the inverter identifies the batteries. And right there you can see it does. So everything is working well so far. And right now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and make those cables connecting the batteries that I mentioned. All right. All right, y'all. So y'all can see I'm upgrading from these here on the left to those right there on the right. So I already got one of them on there. Looks real good. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the other two now. All right, guys, so when I put this last piece on there, once again, I want to use my resistor to go ahead and charge that capacitor before I connect it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this last one on. So I got one terminal connected. Now before I connect this last one, let me go ahead and charge that thing. Keep it on there a couple seconds. And go ahead and set your connector on the terminal. Keep it in place so it don't break the current circuit. Go ahead and tighten it down. Check all your other connectors too. So now the circuit is complete. As you can see, this here is wired in series. So you got the negative going to the positive, positive going to the negative, all the way around. All right, so go ahead and turn the PV panels on. Go ahead and turn my disconnect switch for the panels on. And once again, I want to check to make sure that the inverter identifies the batteries. So it identifies the batteries. So I'm gonna go ahead, connect this miner in here, get it up and running. Off position. Connect my power cables. And then gotta connect the network cable. She's ready to go. Go ahead and turn my breaker on. Oh, my bad. Didn't turn the inverter on. Turn the inverter on. The inverter is on. Go ahead and turn my breaker on. Miner's spinning up. Good cables. Should be good to go. Alright. Thanks for watching. Okay, so Here's the fuse that I'm going to use with this system. This is a 300 amp Class T fuse on the mounting block. It's made by Go Power. So I'm going to replace this 200 amp fuse that I have right here with the Go Power. Alright, thank you.